Hi, boys and girls. This week I will be reading you some of my favorite Christmas stories. This first one is called Mooseltoe. A moose is an animal with big antlers like that. And mistletoe is something that we hang up. It's a little plant you can hang on your ceiling. And the tradition is if you stand under a mistletoe, someone needs to kiss you. Yeah. It's by Marjorie Palatini, illustrated by Henry Cole. It's kind of a silly story, but I think you'll like it. Was the season, and Moose was merry. He joyfully tickled the ivories with a tuneful of tidings and a flurry of fa-la-la-la-laws. He was so full of ho-ho-hos, even his moustache had holiday spirit. So that's basically a fancy way of saying he was playing Christmas songs. But Moose was more than just a bit merry and bright. He was busy, busy, busy. There was a lot to be done on his list of to-dos, so he had a long list of things to do. But with orderly organization, a bit of regimentation, and lots of imagination, just plain old Moose know-how, getting ready for the big day should have been simple. Easy, yes, in all probability, perfectly perfect. So he was getting it all done, his list of things to do before the big day. He wasted not one merry minute. Moose got moving and put some hustle into the holiday bustle. He went to work. He wrote cards and letters till his hooves hurt. Check. He shopped till he dropped. Check. He hauled some home boxes and bags and presents galore. Moose had gifts for everyone stacked from ceiling to floor. Check, check, check. Then he wrapped, yo, 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 and he ribboned, ho, ho, ho. And on each and every package he tied a big, beautiful bow. Check and double check. So far, so simple, so easy, so perfectly perfect. Another look at the list, and Moose headed for the kitchen. He pulled out the pots, pans, and bowls, sifted through stacks and racks of cookbooks. He whisked with his left, spooned with his right. Moose baked tons of tins of cookies. Check. Dozens of cakes, breads, and sweets. Check, check, check. He made jellies, sticky jams. Moose roasted a goose and some chestnuts. He toasted marshmallows and yams. Check, check, check. Triple check. Yes, yes, yes. So simple, so easy, but of course, perfectly perfect. Decorations were up next on his list of things to do and get done. So Moose decked the halls, then he spruced up the walls. He beaded and bowed and mooseltoed. He gathered garlands, roped wreaths, and holly. Jingle bells sang Noels. Oh, good golly, this Moose was jolly. Check, 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 check. He's doing lots of fancy decorating. Last but not least, he hung all the stockings, each and every one with special care, and just in time, too. Soon Santa would be there. Check and final check. Yes, sirree, getting ready for Christmas was an absolute snap. And so simple, so easy, and if he did say so himself, Moose thought totally, utterly, completely, perfectly perfect. On that night before Christmas, Mother, little Sissy, Bucky, and Junior looked all through the house. What a job Moose had done. Everything looked bountiful, festive, quite fine indeed. There was just one minor problem, if you will. Oh, dear, sighed the missus as the five stared at one empty corner. Oh my, oh me, oh gee. Pop, what happened? Cried Junior. You forgot the tree. Oh my goodness. And working so hard to decorate and get ready, Moose forgot about the Christmas tree. Oops. Where would they hang the tinsel, string the popcorn, light the lights? Where would Santa leave his gifts for the kiddies on Christmas Eve night? So Moose pulled on his galoshes, those are boots, and put on his hat. He would find a tree somewhere, somehow, and that's all there was to that. So out went the moose, braving blustery blowing winds and the cold, trudging through snowdrifts, courageous and bold. How can you forget the Christmas tree? Moose hoofed it down to the corner. Not a tree to be had. Then he slid around the block. Uh-oh, things were looking bad. He went down every boulevard, street, and road. He looked down lanes and alleys. Every tree had been sold. There wasn't a branch, not a twig, not even one lousy bolus bough hanging around. Nope, nada, nothing. Not a tree to be found. No tree, sighed Sad Moose as he came home empty-handed on the snowy eve. The kids tried to make the best of it. They said, "Oh, so who needs a tree?" But Moose could plainly see they were short on the glee, that they weren't real happy. He knew he had to do something, and that's just what he did. In the empty corner he stood, and he spread out his arms very wide. Then he smiled at his children and winked at his bride, his wife. "Kids," he declared, "fetch your forgetful pop some of that tried and true family glop." What is he doing? So back came the kids carrying a big pot of glue, and without a word to one another, they knew just what to do. They each took a part, grabbing strands, taking hold, and carefully, oh so carefully, they glopped and they plopped, they pasted and they pressed, they curled and twirled every which way a follicle could fathom until Moose's magnificent moustache was indeed more of a marvel to see. I see glue here. What are they doing with glue and Moose's moustache? Moose was just a few needles shy of being an evergreen tree. They strung Moose with lights from his head to his toes and draped him with tinsel beginning right with his nose. They hung balls that were shiny and bells that twinkled, candy canes, berries, and plums sugar sprinkled. Then they all stood back and Junior plugged in his pop. Ooh, ah. Yes, most truly was one incredible sight. He was glorious and glowing, and boy, oh boy, was he ever bright. They made Moose into a Christmas tree. What? Then Junior placed a star on top of Moose's head. He gave him a kiss and a pat, and they all headed off to bed. Except Moose, of course. He stayed in the corner instead, still twinkling and blinking and waiting for Santa. Oh, so it wasn't so simple, and it wasn't so easy, and okay, it wasn't so perfectly perfect. But do you know what? It was pretty close. Ho, ho, ho. I hope you enjoyed the book, and I will share another fun holiday book with you tomorrow. Bye.